Hello. Just caught me doing some reading, that's all. Now, my name is Finnbob, but you can call me the Homesteader. I sure am glad that you could join me today. Now, normally I'd be outside enjoying the outdoors, but, well, it's a bit chilly today. And, well, where else better to find a homesteader than the home? So, today we're going to talk a little bit about seeds and how they grow and the stages of growth a little bit, seeing as how last week we planted some seeds. So, without further ado, let's just get into it here. Well, like I said last week, seeds come in all different sorts of sizes and colors and shapes, and depending on the seed, they can take from a couple weeks to grow to a couple years to grow. It's pretty incredible, isn't it? Now, I don't completely understand all of it, but I do understand some of it. Like, let's start here with, like, the green bean. Now, you can see the little seed in there. It's just hanging out, right? Once the seed is placed in the dirt, it doesn't really do anything until it hits water. Once the water hits it, then something magical happens in the seed. Well, maybe not magic, but more scientific, to where the seed starts to open and starts to grow as soon as that water hits it. Now, this is called germination, right? And germination, here you can see the seed and that little sprout with that little leaf coming up from the seed and the roots there. So, what it is that the seed has some nutrients stored inside of it, and then once it hits that water, it starts kicking out nutrients because it already has some, and then after it uses up its first initial supply of nutrients, it then starts to take in a bunch from the soil, and that's why plants have roots in the soil, is to collect nutrients and water from down there. And so after this germination, the seed will start to grow a little bit. See? And this is just like a sprout or a seedling, or there's a bunch of different names for it. And so this little guy is when it starts to collect the nutrients from the soil instead of just from itself. And so it's quite cool. And now different plants also need different nutrients in the soils. Well, they'll all need the same kinds, but more of different quantities different plants will need. Like different levels of phosphorus and nitrogen, depending on the plant, based off of wherever they're native to. Native to, of course, meaning wherever they come from, where their roots were the first time. Just like I think I'm native to nature. And that's why I grow nature, so I can stay in my hometown. So, and then after that little seedling, a sprout, it starts to grow this. Now, in this case, it's a green bean plant. So, it's just a little plant, right? And so now, it's not using any of the nutrients based off of the initial seed, and it's just taking in nutrients from the soil. Now, after this, depending on the plant, it can do different things. It can start to flower, right? Or it can start to flower and then bud and then make, well, no, I'm sorry. It'll start to bud and then flower and make the fruit. In fruit trees, they have that little bud just before it flowers, and all the bud is it's the flower all kind of nestled in there real tight like. And then once it buds out as a flower, then the flower will then grow the fruit. It's quite amazing, isn't it? So, after this, depending on the plant, lots of different things can happen. And that's good, because we need a wide variety of plants. Now, in trees and such, just like big oaks and maples, they'll just keep growing. They'll keep growing and growing, and then different plants have different way of releasing their seeds. Think of, you've seen the little helicopter things that fall to the ground. Those are from maple trees. And acorns, little acorns, fall down from oak trees. And pine cones, of course, fall from pine trees. There's a lot of different ways that the plants decide to drop their seeds, and different ways that the plants make the seeds too. Little flowers have to have different pollinators. Pollinators are bees and hummingbirds and things like that, and them little pollinators fly to the flowers and go and cross the pollen and make new different types of species, but that's their way of reproduction, and it's super cool. And so yeah, I've said it many times and I'll say it again. Seeds are amazing. If we didn't have seeds, we wouldn't have us. Now, and that's all I have today. We had a pretty nice lesson today, didn't we? Just me and you talking. I like that. I like that a lot. And although we couldn't be in the outdoors, sometimes it's just as important to sit down and relax. So, I really do hope that you enjoyed my lesson today. I know I did. And, well, if you like the information like this, make sure to check out Cognition Summer Camp this summer if you're looking for something fun to do. We'll be traveling all through space and time here, going to different places in the world and even some places up in outer space, all throughout different periods of time. And, of course, if you want to buy some cool things, check out Cognition's temporary gift shop. That'll have some good stuff for you there. And with that, I can't wait to see you next time to do another video. Alright, I'll see you then. Bye.